Hey all you nerds, Gabe aka Froopy Art here, and welcome back to our Gravity Falls encrypted-inspired Pokemon region. In the previous episode, you battled the Cypher Squad's final elite trainer, and after you defeated a mind-controlled Frenda and her fighting-type Pokemon, you are ready to enter the chamber where Glee is trying to summon a dangerous legendary Ultra Beast. This is the lab where Glee built the mind control collars he used on your friends. You see that they have been busy as there are 4 more collars sitting on a workbench. Set up in the center of the lab is the professor's stolen Ultra Wormhole device, and standing in front of that is Glee.
Well. Look who managed to defeat our 4 elite trainers. I'd say I was impressed if I wasn't so annoyed about it. Now it's real cute that you want to be part of the party, but you best stand back because we have important work to do.
Still a bit groggy from his recent interdimensional travel, the professor's twin brother, Wilford Pines, is putting the last touches on the machine by connecting hefty power cables to it. You call out to Wilford to stop, but he doesn't respond to your calls and just mutters quietly to himself and continues working.
It's no use. There's no stopping what is coming. I've been hearing psychic communications from beyond this dimension for years. Something needed me to free it. Something that promised me control over this town and ultimate power. And I'm finally going to get it.
Unable to stand any more of Glee's voice, you throw out your Pokemon to battle. Glee is all too happy to take you down. They lead with a Concaga, which manages to poison some of your team right away. After that is the bulky Grimucklin, which smacks your team with some ground and dark-type moves. When you faint it, Glee sends out the final evolution to the Sprutama line. So, quick reminder, this line has been based on various bits of folklore dealing with protecting nature and enlightenment because of nature. We're going from Stuckabout, our wandering walkabout Pokemon, into the Lord of the Forest, the Slavic legend, the Leshy. Now, the Leshy sometimes can have antlers, but I wanted that shape to also read a bit like a natural crown. So this thing, it's ruling nature. Of course, being so enlightened, it has opened its third eye, which is composed of the same eye colors that its previous stages had. And then the pose itself is just introducing like a hint of yogi with the balancing and the stillness. And we'll be able to continue with the white shinies for this line and end up with something that's pretty awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and meet Jagleshi, the guardian Pokemon. By using its powerful psychic eye, this imposing grass type watches over vast areas of the forest. While normally peaceful and still, Jagleshi will severely punish anyone who disrupts their natural surroundings. Those who litter are often tangled in vines and left strung up in the tallest trees as a warning. The ability is Seed Sower, so that turns the ground into grassy terrain whenever they're hit by an attack, with the other available abilities being Chlorophyll and Harvest. If you caught little Sprutama way at the beginning of your journey, how were you feeling about this final stage? Now, this one ends up setting up grassy terrain and sticking around longer than you'd like as it wails on your team with grass-type attacks. Some bug-type attacks knock this thing out, and Glee ends up sending out something much smaller. You know what we really haven't had much of in the Hoenn region? Gimmick Pokemon. Those Pokemon with like a silly little extra mechanic to them. These are the ones with like a really strange stat spread like Shuckle or super weird abilities like Shedinja. So we're gonna have a fun one too. Now, this line is based off of divination in general, and that's why it's a cute little crystal ball, but more specifically, it has references to the Western Zodiac. Now, I hope I'm not offending anyone too much by lumping astrology in with folklore and whatnot, but I personally think it fits just fine in the Hoenn region, especially as a signature mon for the Psychic Kid Glee. Now, the art for this little guy took forever, which may sound strange when it's just a ball and some amorphous psychic cloud bits sticking out, but it'll make a lot more sense when we get to the decks. Okay, let's learn all about Zodiorb, the divination Pokemon. People of the Hoenn region have used this Pokemon's shifting psychic mists to try to predict the future. While it is able to predict some things, Zodiorb is so sweet that it more often just shows people what they want to see. Their gaseous bodies are able to leave their cracked container and expand into forms of varying types. Zodiorb loves to play in these forms and adopt exaggerated personalities. And the ability is something new called Mist Shift, so that changes the Pokemon's primary type and form to that of its previously used attack. And using that ability, you are able to match Aries with Rock, Tauros with Ground, Gemini with Dark, Cancer with Ice, Leo with Fire, Virgo with Fairy, Libra with Fighting, Scorpio with Poison, Sagittarius with Flying, Capricorn with Grass, Aquarius with Water, and Pisces with Dragon. There was much debating on which types should go with what signs, but I feel okay about what we got here. Now, Zodiorb is able to hop between different types with ease and even take advantage of a signature move, Star Sign, which changes Zodiorb to another one of its forms randomly and then deals a special attack using that type. A random stab is definitely tough to work around, but you do manage to take little Zodiorb out. A creepy smile greets you as the Hoenn Sableye hops on out and begins wailing on your team. It's a real pain in the butt, but eventually you take it down and Glee is forced to send out their final Pokemon, the last stage of the Kringcap line. The previous stage was the Flatwoods Monster, an old school alien sighting. We're going to continue with that extraterrestrial theming while maintaining a retro feel. This final stage has the line's like spherical core face intact, but now it is more of a UFO. Think like the Roswell crash, with a little bit of retro futurism thrown in. But the main thing I just could not get out of my head was the shape of the kind of main metallic piece. It's similar to a hypothetical warp drive that's kind of been floating around, and since I wanted it to be a fairly speedy Pokemon, that felt like it worked really well. Rendering shiny metal is always a fun challenge, and I like that this does blend, the Pokemon art style with retrofuturism. Okay, let's check out Yewfoid, the Space Core Pokemon. Using its psychic powers to bend metal and form glass, this clever psychic type finally feels safe exploring the Earth. Tucking its floating arms in, this craft-like Pokemon is able to sail through the air at great speeds. Yewfoid is still only the central round core and will occasionally phase out of its protective glass container to nuzzle a supportive trainer. The ability remains Levitate, which is great for a steel type, and the hidden ability is Opportunist. This little ship zips around the battlefield, but you feel like you could probably take it down. Unfortunately, Glee is desperate now. Alright, wasting no time, let's get a Beast Merge going. Now, while I find Yewfoid to be quite cute, I actually have a phobia of aliens. So we're going to introduce a scary aspect to our UFO Pokemon. Poor little Glee is getting abducted and experimented on. All these little tools and antennas are both constraining Glee's movements while also being kind of controlled by them, and they also look like they're puncturing through Glee's arms. Yeah, I don't know, I like adding elements to Beast Merge forms that look painful or just kind of messed up. This is also good because it plays up how small Glee's stature is. Right now we have too many Beast Merge forms that get all big and bulky, and I had wanted one that was frail but speedy and super strong. And with a great typing, this is a serious threat to any team. Alright, let's learn all about Beast Merge Yewfoid, the Alien Probe. the Pokemon melts into long metallic rods which bind themselves onto the trainer and lift them up into the air. Skittering around on its sensor-filled appendages, this form has an unmatched awareness of its surroundings. For several days after unfusing, the trainer is convinced some metal was left behind in their body and they scratch uncontrollably at their skin. The ability is Infiltrator, and that ignores all the effects of Reflect, Light Screen, and Safeguard. Its stats are not to be messed with, and it takes everything you have, but your final Pokemon is able to knock Glee out. They separate, and Glee's tiny body flies across the room. Just in time to see the victory, you see that Professor Pines, Maple, Moose, and Cordelia have all finally caught up.
Nice job! Way to kick Glee's tiny butt!
Oh yeah, nothing like watching a kid like Glee get what they deserve.
No! This can't be! Stay back! You can't stop what was coming! I need this Ultra Beast to come through to help me! It's been talking to me for so long!
That's where you're wrong, Glee.
Wilford Pines continues to work on the portal, attaching the last cable and pressing buttons on a control panel. You see that Wilford does not have a mind control collar on.
What?
You think it was an Ultra Beast that was talking to you? You think the legendary Ultra Beast would bother talking to you? Oh no. While I was trapped in that dimension with it, I studied its intense psychic abilities directly. I learned from it. Built something to focus my own innate abilities.
Wilford pulls a mechanical headband from his coat and places it on his head.
I was the one communicating with you. And that was only because your psychic connection was the only one strong enough to contact. I needed you to complete my old portal and bring me back. But you couldn't even do that. Turns out my brother wasn't as useless as I thought.
Ford, what are you saying?
I never expected you to be the one to get the portal working again. But now that I am back, and with the legendary Ultra Beast at my side, I'll be unstoppable!
Ford, this isn't like you.
Will, you have no idea what I am now. You got me trapped in a hellish dimension for years. And now it's time to make this dimension match it. And before you get any ideas about trying to change my mind...
Wilford's mechanical headband glows as he focuses his psychic ability. And you watch as the 4 mind control collars from the table nearby levitate and zip across the room. They clamp tightly around the necks of Professor Pines, Maple, Cordelia, and Moose. Wilford eyes you.
I suppose you're lucky Glee didn't make enough extra collars. Well, anyway. I suppose you are fortunate enough to witness this.
Wilford throws a final switch and a massive Ultra Wormhole rips open. You can see that something is coming through, but the intense energy emanating makes it hard to look at. Waves of strange radiation bombard you, and it's difficult to stay on your feet. And a final shockwave of energy sends you flying into the far wall. Everything goes black. Well, that certainly was dramatic, but before we go, let's go ahead and take a look at the decks. With only 10 episodes left after this, there's not much left to fill in. There's a single stage design in there, and then nothing but evolutions and beast merge forms. Is there anything that you are dying to finally get? Let me know down in the comments below. Alright, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying this series. There is a new puzzle added to the Discord server, so be sure to check out the video description for details on how to join all of the journal deciphering fun that we're having, if you haven't done so already. You know I gotta thank the amazing Patreon supporters. You guys are just the best, but in particular, you know I gotta show my love for Angel, Cyberlord, and Mason. These 3 are the coolest of cool up in the champion tier. Alright, I will catch you in the next one. Later, nerds.